Hey y'all, it's Laura, and I want to talk about my spending frost. It was not a full spending freeze for 2022, it was a spending frost, which means I was trying to limit my spending as much as possible, but giving myself a little bit of cheats so that I could bring in some new things to excite me to scrap. Because I don't know about y'all, but I find it really, really motivating to get a few new things in, and I get really excited to use those things, and I then bring in some stash to add to that. So for 2022, I did pretty well overall. Pretty well in not spending all of the money. In the fourth quarter, I think I really only had one real cheat, and that was when HipKit had their Black Friday sale. And I knew that was coming, so I intentionally did not buy much else in that quarter because I knew that was coming. And that is where I chose to go ahead and use my cheat. For the most part though, I think I did a really good job this year about not adding a ton of new things to my stash because I do have a pretty sizable stash and I need to use it. I definitely need to use it. Now the goal for 2023, I probably won't continue to do an update on it because I think it's just gonna be something I'm doing going forward, but I am going to be limiting myself to just my very favorite manufacturers, which for me personally are Cocoa Vanilla, Pink Fresh Studio, Paige Evans, Vicky Booten. So those three are probably the three that I will pick up just a very, very small few things from this year, but not much. And it'll also depend on what their collections look like, because if they're not a collection I'm super excited about, I'm giving myself permission not to buy anything, which I don't know if this is something that everyone deals with, but personally, I just get very excited about the new things and will absolutely make excuses or justify why I need things that I don't necessarily love. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that anymore. We are buying just the things that we absolutely love and feel like we couldn't get later. And that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to probably, what I've started doing this last year is picking up just like a very, very mini kit version of the collection. So just picking out the papers and the embellishments that I really, really feel like I have to have. And that's it. And telling myself, I definitely have some of that other stuff in my stash already. We can find it and make it a kit later. And that's my motivation for scrapbooking into 2023. My spending frost will essentially be continuing, just ongoing. My own budget has obviously changed a lot since I've gone down to a single me only income. And it is going to be interesting to see how that changes over time. I am finishing up my degree in the spring and will hopefully be going to work full time in the fall. And we'll see how the budget changes at that point. But the current budget, working on savings and whatnot, I am going to be cutting back even more for 2023 and trying to focus on using up my stash as much as possible. I hope that was helpful. I know some of you have commented that you really liked this update. I will throw in a little life update here at the end. I am doing really, really well right now. Christmas was a bit tricky at times, as can be expected, but I think we're finding our stride. I think the kids and I are finding a routine that works. We're figuring out how to work together as a community inside of our little house to make sure that everything gets done. And I'm learning to be more organized. Which is something that in the past, particularly outside of my scrap room, particularly with financial matters, being organized with those papers and all the things that come with the budgeting process, have been really tricky for me. But I've been doing much better so far in the last 6 months. I think I've come a long way. I've had a lot of help from my mom and from my sister-in-law and from family and friends who reached out with ideas for getting organized, getting things together, and I'm really excited to see what the future brings. So that is a wrap up of the spending frost. I hope it was helpful to hear for you guys, motivating for you guys to hear me going through this process. And if you have any questions, please put them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. But until next time, bye y'all.